More breaking news tonight. A civil rights attorney tells us 3 Harris County jail guards are charged in a brutal beating.
And we broke the story about a year ago. A man left in a coma. The incident happening as the jail was dealing with a record number of deaths. ABC 13's Alex Bazargian joining us now live.
Alex, that man survived. His attorney tonight points out that charges like this are rare.
Yeah, and that's the aggravation and the complaint from so many victims and attorneys who have to rely on slow-moving civil action to get any sort of justice. We did reach out to the Harris County Sheriff's Office on the 3 men charged here, but we're still waiting to hear back.
We're not saying that this has to be a 5-star hotel at the Harris County Jail. But
Randall Callanan says those taken into custody certainly shouldn't be beaten like this. His client, Adel Gonzalez Garcia, sustained these injuries back in November of 2022. They were so severe, he was in a coma for a month.
A big chunk of his skull was broken into so many pieces, they couldn't even let it heal. They had to take it out, and then 8 months later, they replaced it with a big piece of plastic.
The sheriff's office initially said that Gonzalez Garcia, who was arrested on a DWI warrant in 2022, fell off his bunk bed. And when he was at the medical clinic, fell to the ground and hit his head when he got into a fight with a detention officer. But now 3 people are facing assault charges.
They have given no new narrative.
Nor have they released video of what happened. However, 3 people are now accused of assaulting Gonzalez Garcia. Court documents show a charge against Jimmy Poole and Ezeway Ozembiki for hitting him in the head. One also filed against John Ziesmer for allegedly throwing Garcia Gonzalez to the ground. Callanan says they all work as Harris County jail guards.
Usually, it's been historically that hardly any charges come out of the Harris County Jail for assaults on inmates by guards. But in this instance, we don't have just 1, but we have 3.
Callanan says Gonzalez Garcia and his family will speak publicly about the charges tomorrow. While it's a step towards justice, Callanan says his client was sentenced to a life of pain.
Hasn't been cleared to go back to work yet. And of course, this has caused him really great psychological harm. So he has to deal with that, almost being killed by being beaten almost to death.
Well, that's not nice. Good morning and welcome to the Bad Apple Report. It's bright and early right here. Come here, sweetie. Say hi to everybody. It's bright and early right here at home on the range, 7:30 a.m. Come here, sweetie, baby. Oh, look at this. Okay, you guys. Now, those guys were bad. Bad. They're bad, Annie. This next guy, well, he has been fired. Come here, Porky Lees. Come here, buddy boy. You better not make too much noise. Listen, this next guy has been fired, but he's going to probably go on to another police department and do the same thing. All right. Here's a really dumb cop. Threw his career away trying to be sexy. MNPD officer fired after groping adult content creator in fake traffic stop stunt. What a knucklehead. Nashville, Tennessee, Metro Nashville police say that fired now former officer Sean Herman, Sean, on Wednesday after viral video surfaced of him groping a woman's breast while in uniform during a fake traffic stop. He probably does it all the time in real traffic stops. Allegedly, possibly, just kidding. I don't know. Making a joke here, folks. The video titled, "Can't Believe He Didn't Arrest Me," was originally posted by a woman named Jordan who was sitting in the driver's seat. A man in the passenger seat is heard telling Jordan that he knew she would be pulled over for how fast she was driving. Oh, look at this guy. He's got his hand on her boob. Yeah, I'm cool. Dumb cop. Okay. Oh, there's more to it? Is there more to it? All right. There is. The man pans the camera from the back windshield where a white squad car is seen. Jordan is then heard saying, "I'm not going to get a ticket. I'm going to show him my you-know-whats." Moments later, an officer approaches the driver's side door and identifies himself as Officer Johnson, of course. Oh, Johnson. He's so creative. The officer tells Jordan she was going 65 and a 45. Before asking Jordan's license and registration, Jordan tells the officer that she doesn't have either and then proceeds to expose her breast to the officer. Oh. The officer tells Jordan, "Ma'am, it's 2024. I can see what's on the internet anytime." Jordan responds, "Well, what if you touched them?" The officer agrees and he's seen reaching into the car and groping Jordan's breast before grabbing his... Before Jordan grabs his you-know-what through his pants. The camera's careful not to show the officer's face, but for a brief moment, Viewers can see what appears to be the bottom half of Metro Nashville Police Department patch on the officer's shoulder. The officer then tells Jordan that he's letting her go with a warning. The video ends with Jordan thanking the officer and the man sitting next to Jordan acting in disbelief. Metro Nashville Police told News Channel 5 investigators that they were made aware of the video Wednesday and immediately launched an investigation. Oh, look at this goofball. Oh, you're such a goofball. That's when they discovered that when the officer in the video was Herman, who has been with the department since 2021. Oh, Herman, you're a goofball. He was fired on Thursday, lost his job. He'll just get a job somewhere else, you guys. It's not like, it don't matter. Police spokesperson said that they believe the stunt was planned between all three parties and was shot sometime at the end of April. Metro Nashville Police say it's not clear if Herman was on the clock while shooting the video. Of course he was. Allegedly. That was one of the most outrageous, disrespectful acts a person here could do, and by disrespectful I mean to all the MNPD employees in this agency, said the police spokesperson Don Aaron. Oh, Don. Metro Nashville Police would not comment any further. It's a developing story. Oh, Herman. Oh, Herman. Sean Herman, fired from Metro Nashville Police Department for being a goofball. Pretty funny.
The Albuquerque Police Department says another officer has been placed on leave related to the ongoing investigation into the department's DWI unit. An APD spokesperson confirmed Officer Matthew Trahan was put on leave today. Trahan has been with APD since 2006 and was part of the DWI unit from 2014 to 2016. The department's DWI unit has been under investigation related to claims that officers accepted money to get DWI charges dropped. Of the 9 officers under investigation, 6 have left the department rather than be interviewed. No officers so far have been charged in relation to that investigation.
Okay, so those Albuquerque cops who spent their whole careers shielded by qualified immunity, they get to resign, no questions asked. Well, this next scam that the CHP employee was doing, well, this person I don't think has qualified immunity and will probably face prosecution, but it shows you how deep the corruption is just within all law enforcement and all of their little private entities.
5 crashing cars on purpose and a CHP employee accused of selling fake traffic crash reports. 15 people now charged in a complex auto insurance fraud scheme here in Southern California.
Let's get right to assignment editor Mike Rogers at the desk now with details on this bust. Mike?
Chauncey and Susie, this is a really wild case here, and there are 2 components to this. The first one you just talked about, which was intentionally crashing cars in order to get the insurance payouts, but the other very interesting portion of this was that a civilian CHP employee, according to the Department of Insurance, was allegedly funneling crash reports to a person in a crime organization. Again, that's all according to the California Department of Insurance. Now, then those people would call the people on the crash reports pretending to be the insurance company and say, hey, we've got a garage, come bring your car here, we're going to fix it. They would even arrange for tow trucks to go get these cars, bring them to the garage, and then once there, they would hold those cars hostage until the insurance company paid them in cash. And again, all allegedly being handed by thousands of pages, or about 1,000 pages of these crash reports. Now, that's one half of it. The second half of it is intentionally crashing cars to get the insurance money, and it was all caught on video.
Oops. Lost control. Hit the wall.
Yeah, so the first half of that video was the oops, when that was very clearly being done intentionally according to the Department of Insurance. Then the second half of the video you saw there was presumably when he was recording to then send to the insurance, because you heard him say crashed into a wall, which obviously, because of the video that they already shot, clearly was not true. In total, the scheme, according to investigators, pocketed for these guys $350,000 in money that was fraudulently obtained, allegedly, and that's, again, according to the California Department of Insurance here. Here's a couple of the cars with a video that they were recording, and you saw that crash, obviously, and there's all the damage done to that Polaris after the crash. They actually, in the video, also mentioned how they got a kind of a 2-for-1, 2 birds with 1 stone, because they were able to wreck both of those cars by hitting them against each other. Again, the California Department of Insurance says all of these people are now charged, 15 of them in total, and again, the total loss here from the insurance company is about $350,000, guys.
Wow, what a story, yeah. Mike, thank you.
The state's top prosecutor is accusing a New Mexico judge of breaking the law and stomping on crime victims' rights. It comes after that judge suddenly dismissed years of probation from the sentence of a teacher who who admitted to molesting a teenager. And as News 13's Chris McKee explains, it's not the first time the judge has faced controversy.
All we're asking for is so that victims of crime be treated equally, that their rights be observed, that their rights be protected.
Attorney General Raul Torres calling on the New Mexico Supreme Court to get involved in what he claims is a violation of state law and a disregard of victims' rights by a Southern New Mexico District Court judge.
We are asking the Supreme Court to recognize that there were multiple violations of the law that were committed by a misapplication of that law by the judge himself.
The AG's accusation surrounds Judge Douglas Driggers, who recently dismissed more than 2 years of probation off of the sentence of former Las Cruces schoolteacher Patrick Howard. Howard pleaded guilty in 2021 to battery and criminal sexual contact of a minor, and prosecutors say state law requires a mandatory 5 years probation. But in March, Judge Driggers ruled otherwise.
At that hearing, the court terminated his probation early.
Howard's probation dismissed after just over 2 years. Doña Ana County DA Gerald Byers says his office also didn't get the legally required 7 working days notice before the judge held the hearing.
That did not provide our office sufficient time to notify the victims.
Those constitutional rights of his victims have been disregarded at multiple turns.
While the AG is asking the Supreme Court to now reverse Judge Driggers' decision, he also believes there are likely other judges in New Mexico who've made similar rulings.
I don't believe this to be an isolated incident in the state of New Mexico. That's not how our system is supposed to work. He was ordered to serve and comply with conditions, and he should not get the benefit of a shortened period of supervision by simply doing what the court expects him to do.
The judge who made the decision, Douglas Driggers, has also faced criticism for decisions in other cases. In 2021, the state Supreme Court threw him off of a deadly child abuse trial after justices found Driggers abused his power in barring prosecutors from using key evidence. Former Attorney General Hector Balderas also admonished the judge for giving former District Attorney Francesca Estevas no jail time after she pleaded guilty in a high-profile reckless driving and disorderly conduct case where prosecutors accused Estevas of using her power to influence a police investigation. Judge Driggers instead gave her probation. Then around 2 years ago, Judge Driggers handed down a directed verdict in favor of a Las Cruces police officer who was on trial for using a chokehold on a man and killing him. In that case, Driggers ruled that prosecutors didn't provide sufficient evidence to allow a jury to even consider the charge.
I wonder what they call that when an AG goes up against a judge, if that's some type of, social infraction or a faulty chink in the chain of our oppression, Well, this next police chief, he's certainly faulty, but he's a crack in the Liberty Bill is what I'd call it.
Behavior in which you would fail to disclose, you would fail to support a coworker because of their gender is a consistent behavior that occurs throughout the country.
After she made accusations of sexual harassment and police misconduct, an officer finds herself fired. Tonight, we look deeper into the case of police misconduct.
Earlier, we showed you the interactions which happened between them. Tonight, Chief Investigative Reporter Wendy Halloran joins us with what happens when the officer took evidence to her superiors. Wendy.
Well, Heidi and Jamie, Officer Katie Powell took evidence of potential Brady material showing police misconduct to her superiors. But as you're about to see, they did nothing until I requested the video.
I had the TBI just in 2021, but
after being pulled over for speeding and then suspecting DUI, Connor Manfredi tells Sergeant Ely about a traumatic brain injury. At the time, Officer Powell is searching Manfredi's car and didn't hear the exchange. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration warns officers that abnormalities such as brain injuries can make the tests no longer standardized. Despite that, Ely doesn't disclose that to Powell, watches her administer the test, and even helps. In fact, Officer Powell didn't find out about the TBI until days later when she was dispatched to Manfredi's home on a mental health call.
It really kind of took me back, and I asked him, "You didn't tell me about your TBI the other night on that traffic stop." And he said, "Yes, I did. I told your partner."
Pal went back to the station, reviewed her body camera footage, and reported Sergeant Ely's failure to tell her to Sergeant Tusher.
He just told me to write a supplemental report and that he would take care of the rest. A TBI for a DUI investigation is exculpatory, and we're required to provide all exculpatory information.
Exculpatory evidence. Evidence that could prove Manfredi's innocence or assist in his defense. Connor did advise to a different officer that he had a TBI. However, I was not aware of that. I am writing this supplemental report to disclose exculpatory evidence relevant to the DUI. Springville PD policy under Brady material specifically states officers must include all material evidence and facts that are either incriminating or exculpatory to any individual in the case. Pal says she asked Sergeant Ely.
I said, "Why didn't you tell me?" And he just went,
She says she confided in Sergeant Tusher, worried that the integrity of the investigation was compromised and that it wasn't an honest arrest.
So if the SFSTs are invalidated by a TBI, I didn't have anything. He should have gone home that night.
What's more, look closely at Ely. He's wearing his body camera, but not once did he activate it. Springville Police body camera policy shows Ely was required to turn it on throughout the encounter with Manfredi. If it weren't for Pal's body camera, there would have been no way of proving Manfredi told him about his TBI. 2 News Investigates obtained the audit trail, which shows Pal accessed her body camera footage on July 18th, 2023. The day Manfredi said he told her partner to confirm he actually said it.
I had a TBI just like in 2021. But
And even though she reported it to Sergeant Tusher and to Lieutenant Leonard, the audit trail reveals not a single person viewed it until I requested it on February 26th of this year. And within less than an hour of my request, Chief Lance Haight looked at Pal's body camera footage and 2 days later denied my request. Pal says she knew it would be a problem.
Is that police misconduct?
I believe that it is.
Chris Burbank is a retired Salt Lake police chief.
Let's say how the Department of Justice would look and evaluate a police department and their professionalism. Do you have a pattern and practice of behavior that is alarming or concerning that causes you to investigate other areas? And boy, this certainly is wide open to, well, is there?
Chief Lance Haight declined an on-camera interview, but in a statement said he could not comment on personnel issues, but they investigate allegations of misconduct. He would not answer my questions about this case, but said a complaint that was not properly routed through the chain of command is something they investigate. He says he was not aware of this incident until he received my request for the footage, and he watched it to determine why the case had garnered interest from an investigative reporter. Jamie and Heidi.
And that's a wrap for the Bad Apple Report this morning, folks. Thank you so much for being here this morning with me, bright and early, and hanging in. This was a long one, but hey, at least we didn't have to, see any really bad things, okay, on this morning's report. So we can waltz away and do our day and have a great day. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm going to get out in the field right now, and we will see you guys maybe tonight, hope, for It's Too Late. If not, we'll see you tomorrow morning on the Bad Apple Report. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.